Thugs for less. Pay for 6 hits and the 7th is free. You want us to what? Whoa, wait a minute. That'd be an unethical conflict of interest. What kind of scum do you think we are? Say, that is a lot of bolts. Well, since you put it that way, I suppose we could undo our previous obligation. Excellent, sir. Thank you for choosing Thugs for Less. Attention all Thugs for Less personnel. We now have a new employer.
Ratchet and Clank going Commando walkthrough. My air conditioner is on yet again, so sorry if there's any humming. Anyway, this is Planet Joba, and this is where we're going to be running into Skid near the end of it, and it's one of the worlds that gave me a lot of issues, and by a lot of issues I mean I died once, and that was extremely aggravating because I was really close to the end yet again, and this is a pretty recurring thing with this game. It's like I get really close to the end of a level and then die, and then I get past it the second time, and of course once I get past that part that I died, there's a continue point, so it's really annoying. But anyway, this world has familiar enemies, these weird kind of native guys that'll charge you with their swords, and that guy in the background that'll blast you with an extremely powerful gun. And the thing about that gun is that it fires in 3 bursts, and it does, I think, 2 or 3 damage per burst, and it's so fast, like it shoots at you so quickly that you can't really tell that there's 3 bursts unless you're strafing away from it. So sometimes all 3 of them will hit you one right after the other, and you'll take a ton of damage, and it just kind of feels like, why did I take so much damage from that? And this guy on top of this mount here kind of has a sniper, and we've dealt with them before, and the easiest way is just to constantly be moving left or right. If you're ever moving back and forth or you're standing still long enough, he'll probably hit you. And then if you fire enough blades at him or some other weapon that can do long range just fine, then you should be able to take him out okay. And you also have to use the dynamo on this bridge with all these pistons so you can actually open up that gate so you can actually fight the guy. But these are probably some of the toughest enemies we've run into yet. They do a ton of damage. Luckily, they don't require a whole lot of hits to actually die, but it's weird because this is pretty much the only other world that we'll be running into these specific guys. But we will be running into other tough enemies, so I guess it's not really all great. Anyway, up here can be kind of precarious because you're once again in a narrow doorway and there's a turret, and that turret can be really difficult to take out because if you hit a guy once with anything, then I think he gets knocked out of it. That guy went flying. I have no idea where he went, but anyway, I think if you hit someone once, he gets knocked out of the turret and then he'll get right back in, and the turret's pretty deadly too. Now once you defeat everybody there, then you can walk over here and this gate will open up, and if you want to, you can try to get inside the turret and shoot him. And I did that my first time and took a bunch of damage just trying to get to the turret because of this guy charging me. So I found that the lava gun was a really good gun to spam a bunch of damage on those enemies and take them out. And especially with that charging mount thing, the best way to deal with him is just to interrupt his attacks. Then there's a lot of these birds up here which serve no purpose. And it's about this point where I actually died, and I don't think this is exactly near the ending, but it's pretty close. And as you saw there, I got shot by that guy and lost like, I don't know, 4 or 5, 6 health just by 1 bullet. So these guys are pretty brutal, and it's also kind of starting to get to that point where your nanotech, if you have a lot of nanotech, it really isn't helping too much, because again, 2 or 3 hits and you're probably gonna die. But just stay back, try to take them out as they come through, and then if you walk forward enough, you should be able to activate some of the other guys that are coming through. And there's also health back there, which I'm not going to get until I take a little bit more damage. And once you push that button, then this door will open up and you can rush on in, and there's a continue point right there. Again, you can try to use the turret. I don't really recommend it just because it's weird. They can attack you even when you're in it, and trying to get in it sometimes does more damage than just trying to shoot them otherwise. So once you deal with all of those guys that came out, you can get some of this ammo, and then we're going to be doing a somewhat challenging platforming part that took me a couple of tries just because it's mainly trial and error. It's not that difficult, it's just learning what the next thing that's popping up is going to do to you. Once you figure that out, you're fine. So you're going to need the dynamo, and you're going to want to activate this platform and then jump onto it immediately. And then all of these other platforms are going to start pushing out. And this first one you can jump on, and the second one you can either jump over or you can just you can ride beneath it as the platform moves. And then there's going to be this round one that pops up over there, so be sure to avoid that one. And then there's a wider platform that'll be popping up here, as well as a second one. Now the timing of these platforms ends up becoming a little bit annoying. We'll see that in a second. Then you'll want to avoid those two round pistons, and then there'll be one here. Now that first round piston, if you don't jump over it all the way, you can actually slide backwards, and that's what ended up killing me the most. Then you'll need to boost to jump onto that platform. And here, this is where the timing's weird. You need to jump onto the right one, wait for those round ones to move in, then jump on the left one, and then kind of jump on over to this L-shaped one, and then all the way here, and then back onto the platform. You only get a few seconds to do that, so be sure that you actually do it, but that's the end of the platform part, thank goodness. So we're going to be running into a few more enemies here, and then we'll be running into Skid near the end. So for this I decided just to spam my Seeker gun until it finally gets upgraded, so now it shoots into 3 bursts, which is pretty awesome, but also requires pretty fancy aiming sometimes. And then those 2 guys on the turrets are pretty darn hard to hit, so it's best just to try to dodge all of the bullets and then try to take out all the guys that are rushing at you. Maybe you get a health upgrade, which is always nice, and then try to do something like a multi-star, or at this point if you can get the rocket. I'm not sure if you can get the rocket yet, but I didn't buy it if you can get it. But anyway, if you have a rocket, try to use that on them. And just if you flip high enough, usually you can get close enough where you can actually aim on them. Unfortunately, I didn't have enough of this star ammo to actually kill them, so I had to come up here and just spam the lava gun once again. And I've taken a whole lot of damage here. Very, very annoying, but I did manage to survive, and it wasn't that big of a deal. So at this point, I'm just kind of looking around for health. One more hit at this part will pretty much kill me, so I think I end up succeeding though. I don't think I would have edited in a death. And once you get into this next upcoming place, then we're pretty much there. Just step on the buttons, slide on down, and that's where Skid is.
Hey, you two going to the games?
Yeah? What's it to ya?
Whoa, take it easy, Chief. I ain't looking for no trouble. Just an honest man looking to make an honest buck.
I sincerely doubt that.
Hey, I ain't the one trying to get into a sold-out arena. You're gonna need this levitator to get in there. Nice doing business with you again. Time for me to, relocate.
The instructions are in Blargian.
Goodbye. And it says here, tab A goes into slot B.
Okay, and then magnetize the graviton matrix, remove your left arm,
What?
and done.
You do have skills.
You know it.
Stand on the levitator pad and press X to fly. Hold down X to gain out when the fuel meter is empty.